What is up, everyone? I am going to go over hooking up a little Android Auto head unit into my Dodge Charger. My Bluetooth module in here is starting to fail, and the radio stations out here are terrible. I couldn't take it anymore. And so I was looking for an alternative to hook up my car to have at least Bluetooth at the very least. But I didn't want, I have SRT, this is an SXT, but I have SRT pages enabled and all of that kind of stuff. And so I didn't want to lose that by going to a full Android head unit. And you really don't gain much because the audio quality on some of them is not very good and stuff like that. And then sometimes you have wiring issues and stuff like that. So what I started looking for is something to use as an alternative. It's kind of hard to show here, that would work with Android Auto and not have a big impact on my head unit. And I'll go over that a little bit. But what I found are one of these little boxes. It's not a converter box. It basically goes in line to your CAN bus and some other cabling in here, and I'll go over that. And so then you get Android Auto using your Uconnect head unit. And I have not seen a lot of videos on this, so I'm going to just do a quick little video on this so you can see how it works, and then I'll go over a little bit of the wiring, and then how you set this up. The directions are pretty good in here, and it kind of tells you what to do and stuff like that, and the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. The plugs are there, you can't mess them up. If you mess them up, you shouldn't be pulling apart wires in the first place. But let's see, I'm gonna go this around. Right now I'm in the Android Auto. So basically, the way you want to do it is, I'll get out of here. I'm just going to exit it. And then, okay, so I'm in my standard head unit. You might have heard a little click. It actually shuts this off. So, or not Android. This is my Uconnect here, 2013. I'm going to do a cluster swap. I've got a newer cluster in here too. And I didn't want to upgrade to the newer ones because I believe on 2015 and up, you have to do a whole bunch of wiring. And I was like, I don't want to mess with that. I'm just going to do the easiest thing I can do just so I have music. So I don't have to worry about it. But like I said, this is an SXT V6, but with Alpha OBD, I was able to get in here and enable the SRT pages. I get engine. The only thing I don't get in here is what gear I'm in. I have the 8-speed. So I think that kind of messes it up. I wanted to keep this. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to monitoring my gauges and stuff like that. So I like having that, and then you get the handling and options. You can change the colors, stuff like that, which this is funny. I can do more with the 2013 SRT pages than I can with my 2016. So Dodge, what were you thinking? I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, I can do timers, G-force. I mean, it's kind of cool to at least keep that. And then you still have all of these, I mean, nav is hilarious because it's like this ancient low res maps and all that. Still have my controls. I still have my climate. All of that's off right now. Still have radio, and I can go to radio. Let's see if it's, yeah. So I still have my radio in there. So basically the way this works is if I want to go to my Android head unit, you just long press on either side, either corner of the screen here, and it takes you into here. You have wired and wireless, CarPlay, Android Auto, AirPlay, and AutoLink. AutoLink is an app you can download. I downloaded it, but I haven't hooked it up. It's kind of their own app to work with the system and stuff like that. When you swipe over, oh, I have it set up. So now, earlier when you swiped over, it had a QR code to download AutoLink and all of that kind of stuff. So this is new. This is new in here. I don't have a camera hooked up, so that's kind of makes sense. USB, there is a USB cable here. Setup, you can set up all your stuff there. I haven't done that yet. Bluetooth, things like that. I basically got this wired in and went straight to Android Auto because that's what I use. Go back into it here. I don't know if it's not going to work because I'm using my phone, but some people have had issues where the touch isn't accurate, and there's dip switches here to adjust your touch. Mine is dead on, so I'm not even going to mess with it. So you get in and it's just like regular Android Auto. I can make my screens different sizes, change your playlists. You can go in here. The touch is actually it's using this screen. So I mean, it's the responsiveness is you got to kind of press a little hard. It moves, the menus are fast, but you have to kind of press a little bit to get the screen to work, and that's just inherent to this. Oh, now it's out there looking for stuff, my IT stuff. So that's kind of where it's at with that. All of that kind of stuff. Your microphone, you got your apps in here. Oh, it scrolls this way. It's an up and down scroll. So just like Android Auto, only certain apps are available. I believe, yeah, you can go, sorry about that. You go into customize, and the customize flips to your phone to customize Android Auto. So basically, the way you hook this thing up is you don't have to pull this out. I'm pulling this out because I'm changing my cluster. You don't have to, though. But basically, you pull off the radio or the HVAC module, which it just pops out. You can leave it plugged in. I unplugged it to do the initial wiring, but you have to push down this tab here. And be careful on an older car. This will break, which it did on this one up here. And then just pop it out. It'll be kind of tough to pull out. Just kind of give it a shimmy and pull at the same time. And then when you get to this, there's 4 screws. There's 1, 2, we're about 3, 4, and they're just regular Phillips head screws. Pop those out, and then I just held on right here, and it pulled and shimmied at the same time because it's kind of stuffed back in there. And then the only things you have to unplug on here is the main power plug, which is your CAN bus and everything, and then this little, I want to say coax, can I get back in there? Plug right here. It's on the factory, it's white. And then this harness, I kind of left it all together. This harness, the harness coming off of here plugs into here, and then this harness here, where am I at? Sorry, the main harness goes from here, plugs into your CAN bus here, but then it also plugs into here. One of these, yeah, this one is the harness that has your USB. So this, I'm just going to leave kind of in the center console because you can do USB audio and stuff like that if you want to do wired. It charges as well. It's not high speed, but it charges. But that's all this is. And it's got the camera hooked up. I have not messed with the camera. My camera does not work currently, so I have not messed with the camera yet. But I'm assuming I might have to mess with this. I'm not going to worry about it. Like I said, I just wanted radio. I don't care. But this harness had the main plug that goes, you plug into your vehicle harness, and then you plug into the radio, and then you actually plug in right here, and that's what actually gives you the Android Auto and everything like that. This is an aux plug, so if you have a 3.5 millimeter plug or cable, you can plug it in here, and then you can plug phone or whatever else into that. This thing, all it says is if there's noise to unplug it. So I'm assuming this is a ground, and what they mean by noise is a bad ground. So when you're driving and you accelerate, it goes whee, and then when you let off, it goes. And so that's usually what that means. And so I'm thinking what they're thinking here is you're creating a ground loop or something, and by unplugging that, it breaks that, so you don't get that radio noise, that whine in there. The other plug is this. The male end goes here, and then there's 2 cables that come out. One of them, the male end, goes there on the white. It's a white plug, and then here the female end goes onto that white plug. And then you've got a little Wi-Fi antenna deal. And the key, the way you get your Android Auto is it comes with a little dummy plug right here. And that dummy plug it must go in your auxiliary plug here. So you're only going to get stereo, but that is what actually gives you audio. As soon as you unplug that, it goes away. So that's how this works. And then basically to get out of here, you just hit exit, and then hold long press this for a second. It's about 3 or 4 seconds. Takes you right back into your car settings. So I could leave this on SRT pages. Say I go here and leave it here, go back up here, bam, right back into Android Auto, and just leave it going. I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Okay, we can't have that up. I don't want to get copyright strike or anything. Sweet. So yeah, as soon as I go back, it says you're in auxiliary, which that automatically selected by the car. As soon as I plugged in that dummy plug, that automatically selected. So now I can have my gauges, have my Android Auto, so I can control it from my phone, or I can go back into the app and run through the app that way. But I still have my audio. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, hit me up. I'm probably missing something or didn't explain it well enough, or can kind of get ahead of myself and jump around a lot. So if you have any questions on this box, I'm going to post I can't post links. It is from AliExpress. I just basically said Android Auto for Uconnect 8.4, but this is what it looks like. Just OEM upgrade kit. There are a ton of these out there. Just make sure it's for 11 to 14s if you're on these, and then 15 to 19 if you're on the newer ones. That's all that matters, and the prices are all over. I saw them as high as $220. This one, I had a coupon and everything. I think I paid $110 for it shipped, and it took less than a week to get here. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the whole box and the whole setup in a nutshell. But like I said, AliExpress is where I got it, and it's just I just put in Android Auto for 2011 to 14 Dodge, and you'll get the whole head units that'll pop up. There'll be the 8.4s and the 9-inch. The 9-inch comes with a whole new bezel, all of that stuff. One thing to keep in mind is if you have like a SRT, Hellcat, Scat Pack, anything like that, when you go to those head units, you lose your performance pages, which also means you lose your settings for the, like in those cars, you know how you can go in and you can set up your car, you know, when you go to sport mode and stuff like that, you can change your steering and all of that kind of stuff. You lose that when you go to those Android head units. So my recommendation is if you want to keep your head unit and have those functions, get this box. You'll have Android Auto, and then you won't have to worry about that. A good example is I have a 2016 Challenger that does not have Android Auto, and I don't want to give up my performance pages and all of that stuff and my settings. So I'm going to get one of these for that so that I can have Android Auto in that car as well. So yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, hit me up. I'll answer them the best I can. You guys have a good night. All right, I'm back at it. I just want to kind of do a final video of that's awfully close, of this Android head unit that I installed. I got it all in last night, and I had to work today. And so I'm coming back in to kind of show you where I put it. What I ran into is there's no room to, the radio's behind here, like you saw. There's no room to put that unit in there. It takes up that entire space. Up here, it's hard to get the cabling. This is all kind of sealed, like the radio is in like a plastic enclosure almost. So this is all kind of sealed off. But what I found is along here, there was a hole where I could run, oh, I put the microphone in, by the way, where and I haven't taped it yet, where I could run wires underneath the steering column. So I ran wires under here, and I have everything. You can't see it because it's all sealed up, but I'll show you. And I put the box in my steering column, and there's a support here, and I zip tied it to that support and just tucked all the wires away in there. And you can kind of see it. I have my dash bezel off here. See the blue plug? That's where I have it right now. So it fits in there better than anywhere else I had it. It's just a hassle to try to even get it in here. And once I realized I could run wires across here, under here, there was space here. I mean, I even thought about just leaving it loose in here, but when I hit bumps and stuff, I didn't want to hear it rattling and banging around in there because it does have a little weight to it. It's a metal box. So I zip tied it to like that support, like I said, and now it's nice and secure. Everything works. The reason I have the dash apart is I'll kind of get into this also. I picked up a 2015 cluster that I threw in. The tape is on here because to use the 14 and lower dash bezel, you have to hack it up a little bit. And that's kind of what I did. I'm not too worried about it. But so you pull this out, and I have the tape on here because I was cutting. You can upgrade this, like I said, whatever. I didn't want to mess with that, but I did want the new cluster, because with the updated cluster, let's get in there. Oops. You get, you know, the gauges are different. You have this nice, this is so much nicer than the old one. It's like all the other Dodges. You have the, you know, and this is all customizable. And I have it all set up, ready to go. Tested it, and so far it works. You cannot do this without a taser. I have Alpha OBD, but Alpha OBD is more like a settings and diagnostic software from Chrysler, so it does not do customizing like this. And I did verify. Part of the reason why is with this steering wheel, the taser is able to kind of fool these buttons into thinking it's a newer car, so you can use these buttons, and you have to do the key combinations and stuff like that. The big thing is the OK selection. You have to hold resume. And then you hit back, and that's actually the OK button, since this does not have an OK button like the 16 and up steering wheels, or 15 and up, I believe it is. But it does work. Everything in there works now. I have to get an Alpha OBD and change the odometer to the correct mileage. This only has 68,000 miles. Should be 187.7 something is what my car's at. And so we obviously don't want to be illegal. And then a 2013 with 68,000 miles, I don't think so. Especially an SXT everyday charger. But to get it to fit, I haven't plugged it in yet. You have to get creative. It looks like crap, in my opinion, but you really can't see it, you know, when you're driving and stuff. But basically, I got to clean up my marking here that I did. But basically, it keeps turning on. That's interesting. You have to just cut most of this away. From about here all the way down to about here. You have to cut, I mean, I would say I took off at least a 1/2 inch of material on both sides. That looks worse than it is. That's just barely in there. But like I said, I didn't want to upgrade to the new bezel. I just wanted to stay with this bezel. So we'll see how it looks. And I had tape on this so I didn't scratch it or anything as I was putting it on and taking it off to test fit. And I had a marker, and I was marking where I needed to cut. So that is where we are at. Thanks for following along.